From the Keithman Sakela Studios in Paterson, New Jersey, Green Arrow Media proudly presents Is This Real? Tonight, what is going on in Florida? And now your host, JC3.
Who wants better sex? And who wants better sex starting now? The best way to get started is go to adamandeve.com.
Adam and Eve is offering 50% off just any item.
But that's not all. When you select your one item, you will also get 3 bonus items. That includes a gift for him, a special gift for her, and a gift you'll both like.
Plus 6 free movies for your viewing pleasure and free shipping.
There is discreet shipping as your privacy is priority. Plus 100% free shipping on your entire order.
Doesn't matter how much you spend or what you buy, it will all be packaged and sent discreetly for free.
Don't wait. Better sex is just one click away.
That's 50% off one item, 3 free gifts, 6 free movies, and free shipping.
Bring more pleasure and satisfaction to your bedroom.
Just go to adamandeve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy or anything you desire.
Just enter code QUESTION at checkout.
That's question, QUESTION at adamandeve.com.
This exclusive offer is specific to this podcast only. So be sure at checkout you punch in the code QUESTION. That is QUESTION at checkout. And get your 50% off one item, 10 free gifts, and free shipping. Remember, use code QUESTION. Also remember to listen to Is This Real every Sunday at 8 o'clock with new episodes starting July 16th. Remember, everybody, question everything and put that question at the end of your checkout.
adamandeve.com.
Welcome, everybody, to another fantastic episode of Is This Real?
Is this real?
In tonight's season finale, as you heard from Big Joe, we were talking about Ron fucking DeSantis and what's happening in Florida. What is happening in Florida? You're going to find out tonight in this episode. Across from me, we have the man with the hair, giggity, Big Joe himself. Dad, say hello.
Hello, everybody.
We have Mr. West. Mr. West is in the building. We have the Pope himself.
I'm at the Pope.
Rhodey and Cito are not with us tonight for the season finale, and probably Rhodey.
Oh, I heard Rudy.
Rhodey and Cito are not going to be with us tonight for the season finale. Probably for the next 2 weeks because it's Cito's birthday. So happy birthday, Cito!
Feliz cumpleaños.
And
We'll bang a hooker.
we'll catch you. We'll catch you when you guys get back
Some
for
Coke.
the
What
new
a
season
gift.
11. We do have Teresa in the booth with us tonight, but she's not on the episode itself. She just wants to hear Dad and Anthony argue. Hi. So tonight's episode, we are talking about Ron DeSantis. West, I know you probably have no idea who the fuck Ron DeSantis is. No, okay. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna talk about Ron fucking DeSantis. Dad, do you want to take who Ron DeSantis is?
Ron DeSantis basically is your governor of Republican governor, and he's the governor of Florida. I'll give you a little backstory if you want. He was born in 1978, serving as 2019 as the 46th governor of Florida. He's a Republican. Served in the 6th congressional district of the U.S. House of Representatives from
I don't know what any of that
2013 to 2018. He's a candidate for the president of the United States in 2024.
Okay.
Born in Jacksonville, DeSantis spent most of his childhood in Dunedin, Florida. He went to Yale University and Harvard Law School. DeSantis joined the U.S. Navy in 2004 and was promoted to lieutenant before serving as a legal advisor to SEAL Team 1.
Ooh.
Stationed at Joint Task Force Guantanamo in 2006, deployed to Iraq in 2007.
Nice.
When he returned to the U.S. about 8 months later, he was appointed to be the special assistant to the U.S. Attorney in the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Middle District of Florida. It's a position he held until he was discharged honorably from active military duty in 2010. He was first elected to Congress in 2012. He's a founding member of Freedom Caucus.
What's that?
Freedom Caucus is a group of Republicans that get together and they try to pass their own laws based on Republican ideals. He was the governor during COVID-19.
Sounds like a cult.
He was the governor during Hurricane Ian, Hurricane Nicole. He oversaw the passage of the controversial Parental Rights in Education Act. In the 2022 gubernatorial election, he was reelected by 19.4 percentage points over Charlie Crist, the state's largest margin of victory for a governor in 40 years. DeSantis announced his candidacy in 2023 for the Republican nomination and to be the next president of the United States.
Okay.
That's basically, in a nutshell, his backstory. The reason, I mean, it depends on you what side of the aisle you fall on. If you're a Republican, you love the guy. If you're a Democrat, you think he's Hitler. That's simple as that.
Why?
Whoa.
Well, you think that he's got.
I don't think Hitler is the right.
All right,
term
so maybe
for
not
him.
Hitler, but you think that he's a I don't know.
They hung him.
He was actually. Oh my God, we're rewriting history as we speak. Okay, so it depends on your side of your aisle you're on.
So why is he so bad?
Well,
Well,
it depends.
Let's put it like this. He has signed a couple, quote unquote, not so friendly bills. That's not the right term for it. For the left, the controversial bills. All right. So he signed a 2013 no climate tax pledge against tax hikes to fight global warming.
So he's like, fuck that growing green shit.
Well, just to give you a little bit of backstory about that too, what he did, I believe, is proper and it should be held. It should be done throughout the United States. This isn't a baby of Al Gore, the guy that lost the election in 2000 to George Bush.
2001.
Okay? He was the guy that's screaming this climate change stuff and the carbon tax. The carbon tax basically tells you, we don't care if you pollute, but just how much you pollute, you're going to pay your fair share. So it's not about the economy. Somebody's getting rich off of carbon tax. He stopped it in Florida. You can't pollute, and you cannot should be charged to have a license to pollute.
He also voted
good.
in favor for H.R. 45. H.R. 45, the bill H.R. 45, the long title to repeal the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act and healthcare relative provisions to the Healthcare and Education Reconciliation Act of 2010. Yeah. So basically, is a bill that was introduced in the United States Representatives in the 113th United States Congress. Enacted, the bill would repeal the Patient Protection Affordable Care Act.
Wait, so he was like getting rid of Obamacare?
Getting rid of Obamacare, yes. Which failed. That was a failed bill that didn't go through. Yes, shh. DeSantis introduced a bill in 2014 that would have required the Justice Department to report to Congress whenever any federal agency refrained from enforcing laws. Meaning, which one was that? Hold on.
What, like holding like cops accountable and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Or, like-
Faithful Execution of the Law Act 2014 was an unsuccessful bill that would have directed the United States Department of Justice to report the United States Congress whenever any federal agency refrains from enforcing laws or regulations for any reason. In the report, the governor would have to explain why it had decided not to enforce that law. So basically, if
he wants to like
he wants
you to be accountable and
accountable,
Thank you.
if you turn around and say, "No, I'm not doing that," then he wants you to be accountable for you not that officer not enforcing that law.
I mean, on paper, I like the guy.
Yeah. So
I don't see what the problem is right now.
DeSantis opposes gun control.
My guy, he opposes it. Nice.
He opposes it.
My guy.
He received an A+ rating from the NRA.
A+.
He said, "Very rarely do firearms restrictions affect criminals. They really only affect law-abiding citizens."
That's true.
DeSantis was a critic of Obama's immigration policies, including deferred action legislation, accusing Obama of failing to enforce immigration laws. In 2015, he co-sponsored Kate's Law.
What?
Kate's Law is the killing of Kate. Hold on. And the killing of Kate. I don't have a thing. The killing of Kate Steinle. On July 1st, 2015, 32-year-old Catherine Kate Steinle was shot and killed while walking with her father and a friend along Pier 14 in the district of San Francisco. She was hit in the back by a single bullet. The man who fired the gun, Jose Inez Garcia Zarata, said he found it in moments before, wrapped in cloth beneath a bench in which he was sitting, and that when he picked it up, the weapon went off. So Kate's Law In response to the controversy, U.S. Senator Ted Cruz from Texas, Representative Matt Salmon from Arizona introduced H.R. 3011, the Establishing Mandatory Minimums for Illegal Reentry Act of 2015, also known as Kate's Law. No vote was ever held. In July 2015, however, the House did pass the Enforce the Law for Sanctuary Cities Act, a related bill that often is confused with Kate's Law. So basically, I'm guessing this gentleman who shot her wasn't illegal. San Francisco is is it still a sanctuary city, San Francisco?
Yes, it is.
San Francisco is a sanctuary city.
Meaning that like immigrants are like okay.
Yes, immigrants. They house immigrants there.
They house them there. That's such a great term.
Or they don't give them anything and they just let them fall out on the street and live on the street like they've been doing right along. San Francisco is probably one of the worst cities for homelessness right now.
So
I thought that was LA.
LA, other than your series of 10 villages, no, it's
so in 20
Thought
I have to make that shirt.
I thought I forgot about that.
No.
That was in the Cecil Hotel.
No,
I'll never forget that
I'm
one.
over here thinking like, how the fuck you found out about my scheme again?
Oh, we're gonna have to sit there and make a T-shirt for that.
I'll sell you a tent.
In 2016,
You need a
DeSantis
tent? I got you.
introduced the Higher Education Reform and Opportunity Act, which would have allowed states to create their own accreditation.
Accreditation.
There you go. Systems. Fuck you. He said this legislation would have also give students access to federal loan money to put towards non-traditional education opportunities such as online courses, vocational schools, and apprenticeships in skilled trades. In 2016,
So are these all his controversial like laws, or this is just everything he's done?
This is what he's
everything
doing.
he's done and is
And it
doing.
depends on what side of the aisle you fall on.
You're gonna find them controversial or
You're
not.
gonna if you're right wing, left wing, you're gonna find all of them controversial. And let me just read this one: abortion limits. After the U.S. Supreme Court decided Dobbs versus Jackson Woman Health Organization, which overturned Roe v. Wade, DeSantis pledged to expand pro-life protections. We all know that Republicans, conservatives are pro-life, and they want to do their best to stop abortion. On April 14, 2022, he signed into law a bill that bans abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy. Under the previous law, the limit had been 24 weeks, well past the fetus having a heartbeat and being able to feel pain. The law includes exceptions for abortions beyond 15 weeks if they are necessary to avert serious risk to the pregnant woman's physical health, or if there is a fatal fetal abnormality, which makes no exceptions for rape, human trafficking, incest, or mental health. Okay.
Yikes.
The law was expected to go into effect July 1st, 2022, but a state judge blocked its enforcement, ruling that it violated the right to privacy guaranteed by the Florida Constitution, which is a bullshit story. But anyway, after DeSantis appealed the ruling, the law went into effect on July 5th.
I just got to say, most women are going to be here saying that, like, yeah, I got raped, so I need to get an abortion. You know what I mean? That's kind of something they want to keep to themselves.
In April 2023, DeSantis signed a 6-week abortion ban. The legislation contained exceptions allowing abortion up to 15 weeks in cases in which pregnancy was a result of rape, incest, or human trafficking, but requires the woman to provide proof of a crime before being permitted an abortion under any of those exceptions.
Here we go.
Okay, the bill will make providing an abortion a felony, punishable by up to 5 years in prison.
I just want to point out,
Ban telemedicine for abortion.
Madam.
Hold on.
You must prove to me you were raped.
Hold on. I just want to
Please show me proof.
I just want to point out to everybody.
Let me see your vagina.
That this is a debate episode. So
I think now that you named all the things that he did, Anthony, you're
I wasn't done.
Well, we could be here all night. The guy's done a
Well,
lot
I know.
of stuff.
There's also one more thing.
One more thing, and then we'll nitpick later.
In 2016, DeSantis received a 0 rating from the Human Rights Campaign on LGBTQ-related legislation. 2 years later, he told the Sun Sentinel that he doesn't want any discrimination in Florida. I want the people to be able to live their life, whether you're gay or whether you're religious.
Okay.
That abortion one was wild, though. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Prove that you were raped.
Please prove to me you were raped. Let me see your
You
vagina.
can't make a decision.
I don't know where the accent's coming from. I'm sorry if I offend anybody out there.
It's my
Okay.
doctor. It's my doctor accent. I just think all doctors
Go in.
sound like that. Whatever.
I was gonna say you can't make a decision to.
Wait, let me see. What was it again? It was mental health, rape, incest, or what?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're mature enough. If you're 12 years old and you get raped by your uncle, you're mature enough to have that baby. But you're not mature enough at 15 years old to decide what kind of health care you want. That's what it is
Does that go
in
into
Florida.
Hold on.
No, but hold up. Does that go into like
That
the
goes
whole
into-
thing?
Oh my God.
Does that
I
go?
fucking can't take this
Does that go into the whole thing of them not getting like the that mental health that they were like looking for?
Well,
Why that was so? Is that they were looking for their mental health? They was looking for that.
what Wes is referring to is we were talking before the show. We were talking about the something called the Trevor Project.
Right.
The Trevor Project did a U.S. survey on the mental health of LGBTQIA plus young people, ages of 13 to 24.
Has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying he brought it up, so I'm just explaining to
Okay.
people out there. And amongst that age group, amongst this demographic of people, the rate of considered suicide is higher. There's certainly
they're gay?
attempts. There's other factors, Wes, and there's a lot of things
I'm
that
not trying to be ignorant.
No, I understand that. My point is there's a lot of reasons why they would want to get better health care, but they were not able to get it for various reasons.
Okay. So the abortion
Hold
thing is
on.
completely separate from that.
It's separate from that.
Well,
Okay.
we've also from the clinical psychologist Amy Green, who did research, who was the director of the research from the Trevor Project, says that 2 years of data, or a little bit more than 2 years of data, which they have now, isn't enough to show trends or anything like that. So this is
This is just a survey.
base survey.
Right.
Yeah,
this is not a trend. I didn't say it was. I'm not saying this is.
Yeah, that doesn't
this is
sound like
just-
a very in-depth study
of-
of 10 plus years research type.
This
thing.
is
Or is it? I really don't know.
this is
Well, let's
as
just
of
put it like this.
28,000 people who were in this age group submitted this questionnaire.
Well, this is
survey.
They have over 40,000 people here, age 13 to 24.
Okay, yeah, this says more than this amplifies the experience of more than 28,000 LGBTQ young people ages 13 to 24 across the United States. It's just a survey. We're not drawing the
Nana's going home.
Okay.
She's tired.
we're not drawing any sort of we're not saying this is the norm. We're not saying this is a representative of. We're just saying this survey that was done with over 28,000 people participating, these are the results we got. That's
Okay.
all that is.
Okay.
See, the problem I have with something like that, now this really shouldn't, I don't even think this has anything to do with Ron DeSantis of Florida.
It does. It's. I bring this up because we're going to talk about
The Don't Say Gay bill. Which
the
is
Don't
the
Say
second
Gay
part.
bill,
Okay.
right?
No,
Okay.
we're going to
Yeah.
talk about the Florida Parental Rights in Education Act.
Right. That is HB 1557.
That's the one we're going to talk about.
Passed 329/22.
Okay.
Much like
Alright, that's
everything
part
left
two.
does, you
That's
can
part two, yeah.
pretend to call it something else.
Okay, I'm about to say
That's
a-
English.
So
I
as
need
far as-
What you're
English.
doing? Go ahead.
Can just time. So for Ron DeSantis, these are some of the things that has been around and he's done.
Does that include the COVID thing?
Well, in COVID, I believe we said, or was that in the thing? He kept the state open, and the state is running well. Let's just put it like this: the state is running actually pretty decent.
When you say it's running decent, what do you mean by it's running decent? Does it have a surplus? Is the what's the turnaround as far as?
I'll take that one. You can say it's running well when he wins by 19.4%, the biggest in 40 years, which means people appreciate what he's doing. Number one, when he says it's running well, it's running well because the people in the state of Florida agree with him. Okay, they don't want the other policies. They want to make sure that everything is running the way they want them to run. Okay, and people are being held accountable. Laws are being passed for the right reasons. Okay, people are flocking to Florida in record numbers. It wasn't closed down much like the rest of the country was, and you see where we're at that point. He went against the norm. He said, "No, I'm not closing my state down. This is the way it's going to be. It's going to wind up passing anyway. We're going to figure it out together," and he did. And it wasn't any worse for wear than any other state. In fact, while this was going on, people were still moving to Florida in record numbers.
In July 2023, the unemployment rate for Florida was 2.7. Florida has the lowest unemployment rate, lower unemployment rate than the U.S. overall.
So what happens? You keep people working.
The GDP growth of Florida is 3.5%. They made $1.4 trillion in goods and services. As for ranking their but unemployment rate, it's not the lowest. It's midway through but basically they're like, I think they're like 20th.
Yeah, they're about 15 on the list.
15, yeah. New Hampshire is the lowest with 1.7, but like how many people are actually in the fucking
You
New
got to go
Hampshire?
per capita on something like that.
Like Florida is one of the biggest states in the country. Total weeks of unemployment. That's 2023. Okay, so this is their lows. I'm sorry, it's 2021. All under his lows were during COVID. 2021, 2020, stuff like that.
Which is to be expected because people were not
exactly
going to Disney and all that stuff.
He is fighting Disney, by the way. I don't know what the fuck he's fighting Disney for.
Because there was special laws that Disney had.
Man, is this beefing with Disney?
Yes.
He's beefing
He got married in Disney.
He's beefing with the mouse.
He got. Oh wait. He got. That's some.
He got married in
that's
Disney.
some
There
real
are special
shit right there.
laws that Disney operates outside of like normal laws in Florida because they're so big as a company, as an entity. They're almost like
Do they fight it? Just
Kissimmee, Florida was designed for
Disney,
specifically for Disney, for their workers to live in.
Right. It's like its own town.
It's
like
its own
Hershey
town.
Park.
No,
Bigger.
Hershey Park is a park.
Well, no, but I think Hershey or something like that. Wasn't
Hershey's a city that has a park in it.
Right.
Kissimmee, Florida.
but it had the same concept though. Like they had a factory where pretty much they had towns or they had houses where the workers would live in.
Right.
That's what I'm getting
right,
at.
but they didn't have a special community for them, where Kissimmee was designed and given under the domain of Disney. But then Disney was making money off of it. Disney wouldn't have to report anything to the state, and it would be like it's a municipality in Florida that Florida couldn't touch. And Ron DeSantis, no, bullshit. This is your part of Florida. I don't care about Disney. You can, pack your little mouse and go stick it up your ass somewhere. Wow. These are the rules. You're going to follow the rules. And he was right in doing that because the revenue coming out of Kissimmee belongs to the state of Florida, not to Disney. Disney's got enough money. Okay, that's and he fought him. He's not afraid to fight people, and that's part of the problem. When you got somebody that's not afraid to fight you, you're gonna make them, you're gonna call them names, you're gonna demonize them, you're gonna do whatever you got to do. And in my opinion, that's what's been going on.
Well,
with
that's
him.
people talking.
Right. So I mean, now I don't know. How do you want to go with this now? Where do you want to?
I mean, if you want to talk, I don't know how. To me, I feel like this is like
spit it out, Junior.
But apparently, according to this is what is this? The U.S. Census Bureau. Florida is 76% white, 17% Black or African American, 0.5% American.
There's a lot
Indian.
of white people in Florida.
It's God's waiting room.
Hispanic Latino, 27%. Which that's not, and then white alone, not Hispanic or Latino percent, 52%. So I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. Those numbers don't add up to 100.
You can't account for people that don't report.
Yeah, but that still doesn't add up to 100. 76% and then 27% and then 52%.
The others unaccounted for.
Well, anyway,
that's
some of the good stuff. That's some of the stuff he did. Now, I'm sure Anthony's got his own list, so...
Well, do we want to take a break? And
sure,
go
let's take a break.
All right, so we're going to take a short little break, guys, and then we're going to come back and talk about the most controversial bill that he's signed. We'll be right back. Here's some of our sponsors.
This October, get ready spooky new episodes of Is This Real drop every Sunday in October.
Hey everybody, we're just letting you know that we have new merch in our store. Go to greenhourmediastore.myspreadshop.com, greenhourmedia.org, or the link in the bio for our first ever logo drop. The Cryptid Collection is here. Get your favorite cryptids such as Bigfoot, Mothman, Nessie, the Yeti, or the Jersey Devil on t-shirts, hats, or mugs. You can also get all of our podcast logos on various items as well. Remember, that's greenhourmediastore.myspreadshop.com, greenhourmedia.org, or the link in the bio. New episodes of Is This Real drop Sundays at 8. Question everything.
Hello, this is JC3 speaking. If you want to know more about Is This Real podcast and our parent company Green Hour Media, then visit greenhourmedia.org. You can find and follow all of our social media pages through our website. If you love our content, then you can support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel and our Patreon page. Remember, that is greenhourmedia.org. And welcome back. This episode is brought to you by Dubby. Dubby, go to dubby.gg, punch in the code IsIsRealPC, all one word, and get 10% off all your Dubby products. Our Dubby cup is now on our permanent desk fixture, Roblox 2. Whenever Roblox is not here, Roblox is here with us.
Look at him. He's angry just like him.
Yep.
He's bald just like him.
He's quiet just like him.
He's quiet just like him.
Roblox is always with us. I don't know. For me, it's this, and this thing also looks like the thing from SpongeBob. Chocolate. You know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So
I was there when they invented chocolate.
So we're gonna get into this quote unquote from the left, the "Don't Say Gay" bill. So who wants to start that?
Okay.
Because you know what?
No.
Anthony do it because
No. That it's really called the "Don't Say Gay" bill.
No, it's not.
It is called.
It's called the "Don't Say Gay" bill by the left.
Yes, that is correct. Dad mentioned it before. It's not officially the "Don't Say Gay" bill.
It's the Florida Parental Rights and Education Act.
Correct. And I will go on record of the. I think there's 9 parts to it. It's a very short act. It's like only 10 pages long. I read it the other day.
Oh, good, nice and simple.
Yes.
It's not simple.
No. It's pretty straightforward.
If it's 10 pages, it's pretty simple.
Most of the things in there, I'm like, I don't have a problem with this. In fact, I agree with most of it. There's a big section, though, that I disagree with for various reasons. So here's what's in the bill.
To each his own.
This is in layman's terms, right?
Okay.
It's a parent's right to know if there's a change in the student's services or monitoring related to a student's mental, emotional, or physical health or well-being. A school must encourage students to talk to their parents, and a parent has a right to see their child's school records. So far, so good.
Okay.
A school or school program cannot stand in the way of notifying parents of a change in their child's well-being.
Respect.
However, if a school personnel has reason to believe that disclosing information to a parent would lead to abuse, then the school can withhold that information.
No.
That's exactly what it says.
That's in the bill.
I know. I'm saying that. That's.
Wait. Okay, wait. Can you please repeat that again? Because
Okay, so basically, if a child thinks that they have
if the school thinks that a child is going through abuse, they're not going to say something.
They're not. No. If a child is sitting there saying that to a school person, you know,
A teacher,
nurse, teacher,
faculty,
whatever,
someone.
faculty of the staff, and they turn around and say, "I'm having thoughts or feelings about
XYZ,
my sexuality," or whatever. If the school feels, now in this bill, the school is going to have to turn around and say, "This is what your child's doing. Tell this to the parents." Now, if the school has thoughts about if this information is disclosed, then that child will be a victim of abuse. Then they are within this bill held to the right of not disclosing that information to the.
Here's exactly what it says in the bill.
Parents.
That's kind of tough though to
Here's
tell.
what it
It's
says.
like,
Please let's read it.
Bruh.
Sorry about that.
Bruh.
This is paragraph 2. A school district may not adopt procedures or student support forms that prohibit school direct personnel from notifying a parent about his or her student's mental,
You got that just the opposite, Joe.
emotional, or physical health or well-being, or a change in related to services or monitoring, or that encourage or have the effect of encouraging a student to withhold from a parent such information, which means that a school can't set anything up that's going to withhold information from parents.
Yeah,
that's part 1. It's a big paragraph.
Hold
Listen to the paragraph.
Go ahead.
School district personnel may not discourage or prohibit parental notification of and involvement in critical decisions affecting a student's mental, emotional, physical health, and well-being. This subparagraph does not prohibit a school district from adopting procedures that permit school personnel to withhold such information from a parent if a reasonably prudent person would believe that disclosure would result in abuse, abandonment, neglect, as those terms are defined in S39.01. Which means that if a reasonable person working for the school district feels that if I disclose this information to the parent is going to be abusive to the student, they have the right to withhold that information.
Okay.
But that's total.
It goes against everything else in the fucking bill.
It
Yes.
goes against
Well,
everything else in the bill.
No, it doesn't.
It's a fail-safe
The
to
reason
protect the
first
student.
part of
Wait.
the bill is saying you can't do it.
No,
Then
no.
saying, well, then about maybe you can.
Well, the reason they're saying is you have to have a reasonable, beyond a reasonable shadow of a doubt, whatever the fuck that this child might, like, if this kid's already getting abused at home. Let's just put it like this.
And like the teachers know about it, but they can't say anything.
But they can't
about
say anything. Like, I mean, they could sit there and like, oh, Jimmy, what happened? Oh, I fell down the stairs.
We
But
know
you didn't fall down the stairs.
If the parents, if the schools
It's like your
aware of
stories
an
are your stories are a little too real.
if the school's aware of an ongoing situation at home that involves domestic violence,
That's a different ballgame.
true. But if they do something, if the kid does something in school that according to this bill, a prudent person would believe would result in abuse.
Hold on. Let's just put it like this.
The school district can
If
withhold
you
that
have a
information.
kid,
But it's both
hold on.
sides.
Listen.
Correct.
If you have
This
a
is what's
kid,
the problem with this bill?
Dad, look at me.
God, I'm listening.
If you have a kid and if you turn around and that if you have a kid in your class and that kid's parents put something, let's just put anti-gay on their Facebook or whatsoever, they're completely and forwardly out, and they've turned around and said, well, if my kid turned out to be gay, I'll beat the shit out of him, or something like that. That has to be the thing where you sit there and like the kid is like, well, I'm gay. They're not going to tell those parents that the kid is gay.
The thing is, the school's not going to say anything.
Yeah, they're not going to say anything.
It's a fail-safe to sit there and go, well, we knew about it, but we didn't tell you because it would result
Well,
in
the problem I
abuse.
got with the bill, and if the bill is as you're reading it, then it makes no sense because all through the bill in the beginning, you're saying the school cannot stop anything. You can't block the parents from knowing.
So that's the
and
bill.
then the bottom says you can.
It says right
No,
here,
the bottom doesn't say you can. It says only
In
if
the
there's
case-
a reasonable doubt that there might be abuse.
So that's
It's-
it. That's the bill. That's
No,
Well,
no,
that's
there's
not
more
the-
to
that's-
it.
there's more
Here's
to
it.
it.
It's like in the first part, it does say the procedures must reinforce the fundamental right of parents to make decisions regarding the upbringing and control of their children by requiring school district personnel to encourage a student to discuss issues relating to his or her well-being with his or her parent, or to facilitate the discussion of the issue with the parents. Like, that is very well maintained in the very first paragraph.
If it ain't Jesus, fuck you.
And then the second paragraph, it says,
Whoa.
a school cannot set anything up that's going to prohibit a parent from knowing these things unless, and this is the only part of the bill that says this, unless there's a chance of abuse, negligence, abandonment, as those terms are defined in S39.01.
Yeah, well, that part of it should be wiped out of it because that makes no sense. Because I'm sorry to say,
Well, no,
this,
it does make sense though.
Well, how does it make any sense from the first part?
It's plausible deniability. That's what it is.
But the thing is, I mean, so then wipe out the first part and just get the second. Because anytime you do something like that, you're going to say, well, I did it in the best interest of the child. It doesn't matter what the first part says then.
At that point, the teacher then has to prove that they believe that there might be abuse, that the parent might. They're putting on the teachers to prove. Okay, you don't want to tell this.
Well, it's the school. It's the board of ed.
Well,
but
yeah, I mean, whatever. Whoever is saying,
School
well,
district.
whoever is saying we do not want to tell these parents that this child has this, it puts it in you. It puts them that they have to prove why they don't want to tell. Prove to me why you don't want to tell.
Who do they have to prove it to?
They have to prove it to the board.
Oh, I'm getting to that.
yeah.
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So we're gonna move on from there.
She brought that.
We're gonna go into number 3. I'm gonna skip for right now because this is the biggest. This is the don't say gay part.
Go ahead.
But the 4th part is school support services include training developed provided by a school district to a school personnel must adhere to student guidelines, standards, and frameworks established by the Department of Ed. At the beginning of the school year, each school district shall notify parents of each healthcare service offered at the school and the option to withhold consent or decline any service. Parental consent to healthcare does not waive the parent's right to access the educational or health records or to be notified about changing
Or should it?
Before administering a student well-being questionnaire or health screening form to a student in the K through 3rd grade, the school district must provide questionnaire on health screenings forms to the parents and obtain permission from the parents.
Okay.
Now, this is all, most of this stuff, I'm like, I agree with most of this stuff. This is like, we're trying to make this as transparent for parents as much as we can to make sure they understand what their kid what's happening in school to their kid.
Which they should.
Absolutely. They have the records, you have their well-being. Anytime we're going to put out a form for the kid to fill out, parents going to get a copy.
Absolutely.
Don't have a problem with it. This is where I have a problem. This is why it's called the Don't Say Gay bill. It's paragraph number 3. Classroom instruction by school personnel. It's short enough. I'm going to read from here. Classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3 or in any manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. Now, given right there, there's only one problem I have, and it's my minute thing. I don't have a problem with them saying K through 3rd grade.
Yeah,
Here's the issue.
Yeah, because you're still like what, 8 years old by
Yeah,
in
you're a
3rd grade?
kid. Kids should be kids, playing on the
So what do
playground.
you have a problem with?
The
Learned
problem
about
is
sex ed in 5th
you
grade.
sit there and say, it's not in a manner that's not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. The issue is there are no state standards. There's nothing on state in the state that says what is the standard to handle questions from an 8-year-old about gender identity or sexual identity should they ask a question. There is nothing on board. There's nothing that's given to teachers. There's nothing that is on record saying that if they approach you with this subject, this is how you should respond in accordance to our guidelines. So it's a vague thing. But the issue that has become greater is the fact that the Florida Board of Education expanded this to go K through 12 in April of this year. This amendment prohibits classroom instructions to students in pre-K through 12th grade on sexual orientation or gender identity. For grades 4th, that's pre-K through 12, 3rd. For 4 through 12, instructions on sexual orientation or gender identity is prohibited unless instructions is either expressly required by state academic standards as adopted in Rule 6A 109401 FAC, or as a part of reproductive health care course or a health lesson of which the student's parents have the option to have his or her students not attend. So they expanded this to include all grades. And it's just whatever
So
you're
exactly
taught.
what do you have the problem
yeah, I
with?
mean, they expanded it through all grades,
Hold
but
on.
that they also sat there and they amended the expended.
They extended it to grades 5 through K through 12, and the reason they're calling it the Don't Say Gay bill is because they don't want anything that involves gender identity or sexual identity orientation allowed in schools. Period. This includes after-school programs. This includes any clubs. This includes anything that, like, if someone has a question about their sexual nature or has a question of someone else's sexual nature, the teachers aren't allowed to say anything. They have to ignore it.
And again, I ask you, where's the problem? Where is your problem with it?
Teacher, I think I'm gay.
No, well, not that so much.
And then just looks away.
And the teacher would have one responsibility. I don't know why you got to pass laws for this. Because common sense would tell a teacher if somebody through K
That's where the
came
i-
up with the thing.
that's where the issue comes in
I think I'm gay, or I think I'm whatever. The
That's
teacher's
where part
very
of the issue
response
comes
is
in.
very simple.
Part of the
Go
issue
home and talk
comes
to your
in.
parents.
The problem is most kids don't want to talk to their parents about this subject because
The problem is
if
also
it's
the
established
teachers.
at home that the parent does not tolerate that behavior or will not accept that behavior, where does the kid go? He doesn't have a safe space at home. He doesn't have a safe space in school. He or she, doesn't matter. Where are they allowed to go in order to just be who they are?
Zippity
I'll give you the
doo-dah.
perfect answer. Then if you want the school to be involved and raise the children, here's what you do.
Please don't eat while
Little
talking.
Johnny decided he wanted to be gay, or he thinks he's gay, and he tells his teacher, but he doesn't tell his parents. Okay? For whatever reason. Maybe his father is gung-ho about gays or whatever. All right?
Mhm.
Now,
For the love of
the
Christ.
teacher should then call up Johnny's parents and say, we need to set up a meeting because this is what little Johnny had said. That is transparency. That is the teacher doing his job and protecting the child and bringing it to the parents.
And except for the clause in here, unless they believe the parent would be abusive.
Well, that I totally disagree with that. That should be wiped the fuck out because
So
the school is number one. Is always going to be the safety of the child. Okay, if the school goes to a meeting with Johnny's parents and says, look, this is the behavior that Johnny's been acting up on, and bring in a guidance counselor, a trained guidance counselor to do their job. Okay, the guidance counselor is going to pick that apart right then and there. He's going to say, well, you know what? Little Johnny's father, how do you feel about this? And if little Johnny's father goes, well, I want to go home, I'm going to beat the shit out of him. Well, that's a
They're never
problem.
gonna
But you're
sit there and
also
say that,
missing.
though, Dad.
You're also missing the part of what does the student? What does the student want? As far as
I don't give a fuck.
This is the kid. That's exactly my point. This is the kid's life. This is the kid's privacy. They have the right to that.
So at what point is the kid going to be his own boss? 12 years old, you're 12th grade, you're 14. Okay.
12th grade, you're 18.
Yeah, 12th grade.
You're
All right. So now, so give me the parameters
14-year-olds.
again. Kindergarten through when?
Kindergarten through third grade.
Literally all of their education.
And they expanded it to when?
Kindergarten.
Well, okay.
Classroom instruction to students. So you can't have a health class in kindergarten through third grade and say this is how our bodies work. This is sexual orientation. This
Absolutely
is
inappropriate. Go ahead.
I agree with that. Here's the thing: when a kid decides, the teacher does, okay, we're gonna make family trees, and a kid has two dads or two moms, something like that, and there's an issue brought up where another kid, well, why does he have two dads and I have a mom and a dad? Or
I
where-
want two dads.
My point is, we live in a world where gay people exist. They're raising families
Well,
in
no,
Florida.
hold on.
And when you have students asking questions that involve gender and sexuality, and a teacher's not allowed to say anything.
Again, I think people are reading too much into it. Again, me personally, I think I'm with
Oh
Wes.
well,
Hold on.
it
I think
Bring it to Johnny's
I'm
parents.
I'm with West on this one. I think a big part of it is the teachers. The teachers are a big fucking problem. But at the same time, you could sit there and say, well, Johnny has two dads. That's all you have to sit there and do. No kid's gonna get deep fucking into it and be like, well, why are they butt fucking? Are they?
First of all, you have no idea if that's gonna. That's a situation you're bringing up in your head. This is how it would probably play out. You have no idea how it would play out. None.
I don't
at all.
understand why. To me, this
First of
whole
all,
makes none.
but see, I
parents
could
are the last
hold on,
resort.
Hold on, I could sit there and bring up a situation, be like, well, you don't know that's gonna happen, but the people, no, I have one right here, but the people are sitting there bringing up examples of what might this happen because you just did the same thing. Well, if they do a family tree, you're bringing up a situation that you don't know what might happen. Also, you don't know if somebody's gonna ask why does Johnny have two kids, two fathers. You're bringing up the same type of situation I am.
Okay, how about this then? When you decide to not talk about gender identity and sexual identity, none of that stuff, then there are people that you can't. There are topics and people you can't cover in other subjects.
Like what?
Like
what?
Can you talk about the Stonewall riots in social studies class? If you're
First
not
of
allowed-
all, I never learned about the fucking Stonewall riots in my fucking class.
Well, you're
First of all,
Exactly. Hold on. Did you learn about the Stonewall riots in high school?
We were having a whole conversation. I missed out.
Well, no,
on
let's
a
about. Do you
bunch.
know what the Stonewall riots are?
The Stonewall riots?
Your
Wait, no, hold on. No, right?
No. Well, if it's something that we learned in school, I don't remember.
I don't remember it either. Teresa, did you ever learn about the Stonewall riots? No.
You're letting your personal experience dictate the everyone else's.
Well, no.
You can't do that.
I'm not. What I'm saying
I'm 62 and I don't know what the fuck they are.
he's 62. Did you ever learn that in school, period?
No, Stonewall Jackson is as far as I got with a Stonewall.
Exactly.
We're sitting. What's this? Does this have to do with them reforming education or something?
Yeah, so Anthony's saying you can't sit there and talk. If you can't talk about sexual orientation and stuff like that, then you can't teach this specific thing in history, even though probably it's not even in the fucking history books to begin with.
The Stonewall riots was the moment that the Gay Rights Act, the movement started in the United States.
Okay.
It's a very big part of the United States. It happened in 1969 in New York City.
Okay, why can't you talk about that?
Because that's something to do with gay.
No. See, no. What you're sitting here.
Part of history. It means something
Exactly.
to learning.
They're going to sit there and learn it in history.
Okay.
Because if it was
Unless
that
hold on a
big,
second.
if it was that big in history, we would have fucking learned it.
Unless a parent decides that that's not appropriate, which they've done, you now have to omit that from your class. If a parent calls up, and they put a whole thing in this bill about how.
Oh, my mind is about to explode.
Why?
You're bitching
They've done
moaning.
that.
You're bitching and moaning about what the parents are going to say and what they do. But nothing was said in fucking Virginia, which actually got it.
Nothing to do with Virginia.
Hold
We're talking
on a
about
minute.
Florida.
Hold on a minute. The same thing happened, okay? The left wing in this country were doing what they wanted to do in there, and it was okay. Nobody was bitching about it until the parents said, enough is enough. These are our children. We want to raise them our way, and if you don't like that, you know what? Go have your own fucking kids. Oh, but I'm sorry. You know what? Some people might not be able to have their own kids, okay? Or for whatever reason, and you know where I'm going with that. Now, my point about this whole situation is very, very simple. Parents, now, I've got 4. Nobody here has any. I can tell you straight out. I don't want anybody telling my kids anything. I'll tell them in my own way. And you know what way that is.
I know that way all too well.
Okay?
You still owe him.
The point I'm making, you cannot, just because a certain group of people decide that they want it their way and they start fucking having hissy fits and all this other shit about it. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You want children? Have your own children.
Well,
you want to have a vote about a child?
I also
have your own
think,
children.
Hold on. I also think it goes into the same thing, because if you want to sit there and say, oh, they don't have the right to rewrite history. Basically, that's what you're saying, right?
And for that
woke part of it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But over the last 10 years, people have been trying to fucking rewrite history and completely take history out of school books because they feel like it's inappropriate for kids to learn these days.
You would have to be more specific into what exactly you're talking about there. What are they trying to rewrite?
It goes down to what he's saying is the woke part of these liberal. I'm not going to say the word. Nitwits. Okay.
Oh, that one.
All right.
Nitwit's a good one.
They want to stand there and they want to rewrite history because they think slavery was bad. We all agree that slavery was bad. Mm-hmm. Okay. But the problem I have with this is if the South wants to have General Lee in the middle of town square and they have no problem with that, okay? Little bitty butt fucker from fucking up in Minnesota, okay, can't ride down there in his pink horse and decide, you know what, today I don't want it because it was bad for slavery and it should go, and get up there with some spray paint or a break the horse's legs or something, simply because he felt bad. You know what? Stay in your own community.
Let's
Don't
just
put the
put it like
fucking thing
this.
up. That's the way it works.
The thing I have with this, I think it goes
just can't stand
state
this
by
shit.
state, city by city. If your city and the people you've elected, the people of that city, of that state, elected to have it there, fucking, if whoever wins that vote, this is democracy, fucking do it. Like that's my whole thing with this.
What you're doing is you're muting You're muting people from especially in.
Well, no, that's you're expecting that they're going to do that.
No, I'm not expecting anything. What I'm saying is
because that hasn't
in
happened yet.
4 through 12, what you're doing is by keeping the idea of gender and sexuality out of the school, other than just a health class. No pride clubs, nothing. You can't have that.
Well, I have a question.
You can't show. You can't.
We're in high school.
Satan care, we can do that.
But I have a question though. In high school, where's the I Love Pussy Club?
It is because it's a stupid fucking argument.
Why is it a stupid argument?
Well,
exactly. Where's the Pussy Pride parade? Where is it? Where is it? Please, you can sit here all night and you'll never find out one doubt at the Pussy Pride parade. I mean, seriously, Anthony. And what do we need to stop?
Club. It's not a club to be heterosexual.
You can, look, I'm not saying you don't have to be gay.
Well,
you want to
if
be
you
gay,
decided to do that
be
club,
enchanted for all I give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
So what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Hold on. If they decided to do something like that, even if you sit there and say, well, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? If they decide to do something like that, they should have the right to do that, shouldn't they?
Yeah, they should have a right. That's fine. My point is the people who are part of the I Love Pussy Club, everyone's going to look at them and go, and? No one gives a fuck.
Okay.
You're not being...
so
okay.
then...
No, not just that. Let me finish, goddammit.
Please.
And also, those people are not being marginalized because they love pussy. The people who are gay, trans, homosexual, lesbian, they're the ones being called names. They're the ones who are having a hard time fitting in. They're the ones who find solace in each other because they all understand they're going through the same shit. That's why these places exist.
I'm sorry, and this might be very controversial to say, and I don't give a fuck. I feel like they're not a minority anymore.
They are a minority.
They are not a minority.
So
all right, you have people run. Hold on, you have
absolutely a minority.
How are they a minority? You have people running on TikTok. You have people running like literally. No one gives a fuck that you are gay.
That's not
no
true.
one cares.
That's not.
Why do I gotta care that
why?
somebody else is gay?
But I have a question.
That's fine. That's your experience, and that's great.
Who
I'm
cares?
talking about there are people. You have parents in Florida who are raising kids who don't want their kids turning out gay. They don't want to deal with that sort of shit. There are many people in this country who are raising kids and go, "You better not be a fucking flamer when you grow up. You better not eat pussy when you grow up. Okay. I won't have that. No child of mine will live into my house being a queer." That still happens in 2023. The kids who are affected by that. Those are the ones who find these places in school where they can feel accepted and understood by people like them because they don't get support by their parents at home.
So now we got to take it out of the now we have to all have the state run our children.
No, we're not having the state run the children.
Or are they running? They shouldn't be involved. I'm really sorry that if some kid was born into a family where they look down on homosexuals or whatever you want to call them. I'm really sorry about it, but you know what? That's a value that those people were instilled in them years and years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago when they were growing up. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they're only doing what they know. Now, if you want to say that that's wrong, yeah, you might have an argument. That might be wrong. Maybe they didn't adjust with the times. I don't know. But I got a question for you. Why is it that now in 2023, we have so many fucking people that need help with the gay stuff, but yet nobody needed help with the gay stuff forever, and the world seemed to turn out just fine. Of course, if you want to be
hold on. There is a statistic out there that has in the last 10 years, 15 years, apparently children under the age of 18 or people under the age of 20. The numbers of them coming to realize that they are, gender transitioning or whatever the hell you want to call it, has skyrocketed 2,000%.
Please explain to me why. We need to have an answer.
I want to see that statistic. What are you pulling that from?
Where did this? Did you hear this 20 years ago? Was even the word transition when it came to this around 20 years ago?
20 years ago, the idea of transitioning was just starting. The idea of going from male to female or female to male.
10 years ago.
That was a thing that was, that surgery was still in its infancy.
Or maybe, how about this? I'll go as far as maybe 2000 and maybe 15. I still haven't heard that back then. There was nobody transitioning. And if they were, it was quiet. You know why? Because they wanted to do it they wanted to get it done, get it over with. Now they don't. Now everybody's got to do it, and they got to tell everybody about it. It's got to be on TikTok. It's got to be on TV. Every TV show has to have a gay guy on it. Where are we going with this? I have no idea. There's nothing to do with
representation.
Every show? Every show has to have a gay guy on it now?
I'm not saying every show has to have a gay guy
on it.
But
I don't.
There's nothing
Look,
wrong with representation.
I don't give a shit about that because that's just normal America, and I say that as normal America because it's the normal. It's the norm now.
Okay.
Because gay people are a part of normal life.
I know. That's my point. That's why I don't give a shit that there's gays on TV. I don't give a shit that they have relationships or whatever the fuck like that. I don't care. Most people in the fucking world, most normal people don't give a fuck what you like. And that's my whole point for this whole situation.
Really? Because fucking Bud Light lost a lot of money over 6 cans.
Because they were wrong.
They gave it as a gift to one person. They didn't put it in stores. They didn't make you buy it. They gave it, and they put one person's face on a Bud Light can, and they gave it to that person. They did not give it to everyone else.
You're putting
And that company lost billions of dollars. Jobs were lost. You have Kid Rock taking a fucking gun and shooting at cans of Bud Light like some asshole. What's the point of it all?
No. It wasn't because of that. It was because of the message that was sent afterwards. And that's the problem. People don't want shit being pushed in their face, period. Regardless if it was
a gift.
Shut up. Not regardless of 6 cans.
Why would they have to give?
Hold on. Regardless
What was
of
so special
6
about
Hey,
him?
shut
I don't know
shut
the fucking.
the
I
fuck
don't know
up.
the reason why. I didn't.
Regardless of just 6 cans being given to somebody as a gift, it was the entire fucking production of the layout and how they handled that PR campaign was completely and abundantly trans activist way. And that people do not want to sit there and have that being pushed in their face, period. Again,
Really?
we don't give a shit that people do not give a shit that you are gay. People don't give a shit. People just don't want it pushed in their face.
Be gay.
It's not about. It's nothing was pushed in the face. It was a gift to one person. That person happens to be very popular on TikTok. Has a very wide audience.
Well, that person also left his wife and his kids.
He was not married and he does not have a kid.
Okay, yes. Tell that to the thing.
Who, the Mulrooney guy?
Dylan Mulvaney does not have a wife and does not have children.
Okay, you are not on the episode.
Teresa said that Dylan Mulvaney does not have a wife.
Well,
does
anyway,
not
what
have
does anything got
children.
this Ron
I don't know
DeSantis?
where you're getting that. You held on to that fucking fact for weeks. She does not have a
I
wife,
can't
nor
hear
does she
you
have
because
children.
you are not on the mic.
She
Thank you
said
very
that she
much.
does not have a
She
wife.
named
does not have
She's a
children.
she named
I'm
Dylan.
not wrong.
Dylan
Okay.
it's an intersex name, yes.
As of July 1st,
Chris is an intersex name.
Christine and Christopher.
Some women are just named Chris.
Okay, whatever. All right.
as
so
of
you
July
back him up all you want,
1st
back him
of
up
this
all you want.
year,
The birth certificate, the marriage certificate, Joey, that only
Run a DNA.
as of July 1st of this year, House Bill 1069 also passed. It shall be the policy of every public K through 12 educational institution that is provided or authorized by the Constitution and laws of Florida that a person's sex is an immutable biological trait, and that it is false to ascribe to a person a pronoun that does not correspond to the person's sex. So now Florida has passed the bill dictating you how to speak. No employer or institution is required to recognize pronouns. No employer or institution is required to acknowledge anyone's pronouns. No employer or institution can ask what a student's preferred pronoun is. So if there is a student who does not identify as a male or female, Florida has it in the law that we don't give a fuck what you call yourself. We're not calling you that. That's what it is. Just simple respect. This is what I'm talking about. A simple act of just, what do you want to be called? Let me know. I don't give a fuck what you want to be called. I'll call you the King's Nuts. Let me know up ahead of time. I'll call you whatever you want to be called. Because that's just respectful. That's what this person prefers to be called. He, she, whatever.
Where did I go?
I have
Well,
no
to
problem.
be honest, I think it should be to the person of the if they want to sit there and
No,
again,
Florida passed a law that says you don't have to acknowledge it. You don't have to ask for it.
that's what I'm saying though.
They're
It should
passing
be to the
language laws now.
Because in the situation
Well,
that's going on,
because people want to sit there. That you can't have it both ways. You can't have language laws that are against stopping language when you have people passing laws that not passing laws, but having language police people out there saying no, you have to call them this way. You don't have to call them anything.
I think the person who's turning around going, no, you have to call me whatever I want to be called. That's the person that you should be involved in.
Well, no, I could sit there and say, I don't have to call you anything. The reason is because I'm my own person. You're your own person. I could sit there and call you the King's Nuts if I wanted to call you that.
That's my line.
I don't care. But what I'm saying is I can call you whoever the fuck I want to call you because you're not going to sit there and tell me what to do. But the problem...
We're not talking about a personal relationship like you and I or you and a friend.
No.
We're talking about a teacher and a student.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is that you don't sit there. You don't have to sit there and turn around and call anybody what they want to be called. You don't have to.
Basic respect. I don't want to. I'm not a him. I want to be referred to as a her, as a she. This is how I
what if
identify.
somebody respects science? Be like, well, in science, that you're a him.
That goes a part of this. Schools must teach classified males and females as provided, and teach that biological males impregnate biological females by fertilizing female egg with male sperm.
Well, that's just regular science.
And these reproductive roles are binary, stable, and unchangeable. Teach abstinence from sexual activity outside of marriage as the expected standard for school-age students, while teaching the benefits of monogamous heterosexual marriages. Emphasize that abstinence from sexual activity is a certain way to avoid out-of-wedlock pregnancy, sexually transmitted diseases, including acquired AIDS, and other associated health problems. Teach that each student has the power to control their personal behavior, and encourage students to base actions on reasoning, self-esteem, and respect for others. And if a teacher does not do that, if a teacher talks anything about sexuality outside of the laws that Florida has, this is the penalty under Florida Statute 847. It makes it a third-degree felony to knowingly distribute to a minor on school property any material that is sexually explicit. Books must be free of instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity. A third-degree penalty can carry up to 5 years in prison, a $5,000 fine, and 5 years of probation, as well as being fired from the teaching post and losing one's teaching a license to teach.
Okay, I have a question.
Well, I have an issue with one of those things. Hold on a minute. I have an issue with one of them. I agree with everything in that statute, by the way, but except for the penalty thing. 5 years is a little stringent for handing out literature, but at some point you got to draw the line here. You got to protect children from predators that are out there. Okay, and I'm sorry, but you know what? Age appropriate stuff. Can't go to a porno film if it's XXX if you're under 18.
No, that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about something like The Color Purple. This was raised in, I forget where. I'm not sure if it was Florida or not, but a parent brought The Color Purple and said this is, because I think it contains a rape scene, and said,
I've never seen it, so I don't
this is sexual material. This is inappropriate for my student. Meanwhile, The Color Purple has been looked at as something that is, you know, it's important to history.
What is The Color Purple?
Culture.
Well, let's put it like this.
I know. What is it rated?
It's not rated anything. It was a book written a play and a book written a long time ago.
Well, then again.
It was approved by the Board of Education until a parent complained,
like this.
and then they pulled the book off the shelves because sexual identity.
Parents can complain.
No, one parent complain.
One, yeah.
That's the thing. If you have one parent complain, that's fine. If you have multiple people, that's a different story. I think it should be based on like, okay, if there's like 50 parents complaining about this, there's something wrong. If it's just one parent complaining, I'm like, okay, shut the fuck up.
What these laws do is it makes, if you can't talk about something and we can't acknowledge it, despite it being a thing in the real world, it turns the subject into a taboo.
My thing with this, if this passes for this Florida Board of Education,
it did all pass. It's for this school year,
and then they turn around and it's like this is the what is it called? What is the thing that the professor hands out at the beginning of the school year?
Syllabus.
This is a syllabus. This is what we're discussing, and the teacher decides, well, this is not right. And it's not up to the teacher. You are a hired person sitting there. You are teaching these kids what you're hired to do.
Just like a cop can't fucking write the laws. A cop has to fucking follow the laws.
You have to sit there. If you have a problem with it, go teach somewhere else.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't think anyone's doing that.
So that's the thing. I don't want to sit here and hear teachers complain. Well, this is not right. This is what you're hired to do.
But you're okay. But by making the subject of gender and sexuality something that is off the table, taboo, we can't talk about it, that excludes people. That makes people hide. That turns around and makes a student feel marginalized.
Wouldn't that be discrimination in a sense?
In a sense, it is, and that's why people have gone and say,
Well, no, they have to sit
don't
there.
say gay bill. It's not saying that being gay is bad. It's saying we're not going to talk about you being gay because we don't want to deal with it.
Kindergartners to third grade.
No. To kindergartners through 12th grade because they expanded it as of April of this year.
And again, their parents are the ones should be handling
And
this,
they
not
all
at school.
At 15 years old,
Hold on.
I was not prepared to have a conversation with either of my parents about my sexuality. I was fine.
Well, we all knew what you were anyway, so.
My point is, you might have students who don't want to have that talk, especially if they're raised in a house where that is considered a bad behavior. No son of mine, no daughter of mine, et cetera, et cetera.
So we got to worry about...
My point is, at 15 years old, when you don't have a safe space at home and you don't have a safe space in school amongst peers who understand it, where's a kid supposed to develop?
I'll solve your problem for you, okay? You lefties, I'll solve it for you. Here's the problem, all right? If they need a safe place at home, or they need a safe place because they're having a problem in school, then they go. They want it. If they're so keen on going to talk to their teacher, who seems to be the one who's got all the answers.
The teachers are a problem. I'm telling you.
Then the teacher needs to report it and bring it in on the parents.
That's what the kids are afraid of.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
Someone to confide in.
These are the same kids that'll go to a fucking candy store and rob a fucking candy thing and get caught and afraid mom, you go home and get your ass kicked.
You're generalizing too much.
No, I'm not. You again. Why does the left want to grow these kids and make them adults?
We're not growing any of it. We're just saying we're allowing people to be what they want to be.
So
they can be what they want to be.
They can be what they want to be. If little Johnny wants to be a frog or a cat, which has happened now, we know that. Okay, if they want to be what they want, so where do we draw the fucking line? So tomorrow, little Billy now is a hippopotamus. You have to clear out half the fucking class.
You know what? Just because
Billy comes walking in like him. I mean, come on.
I will agree with you that there needs to be a line drawn.
Fat lives matter, all right?
I will agree with you that there needs to be a line drawn.
But then you're going to piss off all the people who like fucking zoo animals. So what? So again, it's called laws for a reason. Jesus Christ. You can't just everybody do what they want to do.
As of the Trevor.
It's not illegal to want to identify as a frog.
As of the Trevor Project 2023, 50%
fat ass in a lily pad.
Well, no, it's
56% of LGBTQ young people ages 13 to 24 who wanted mental health care in the past year were not able to get it. Why? Here are the most common reasons. I was afraid to talk about my mental health concerns with someone else. I did not want to have my parents or caregivers' permission to talk with a mental health advisor.
Well, that stems from a different problem.
Hold on a second. I was afraid I wouldn't be taken seriously. I couldn't afford it. I'm afraid it wouldn't work. I was not out about my identity, and I was afraid of being outed. I did not want to look weak. I did not feel that they would understand my identity or my orientation. I did not want my mental health care virtually at my home. My parent or caregiver did not allow me to go.
So instead of this, why don't we do this then? Instead of making that the parents can't know anything, or because the little kid is afraid to go home and tell the parents that he's gay, or whatever he might think he is at 15, all right? So why don't we do this? If the kid wants to confide in the teacher, then we have mental health classes in the thing, but we have to get the permission of the parents to do it, or just cut the parents out completely. Because if you want to say that, then you've never been a parent.
Let's just put it like this. My problem with this whole situation, I think this is where we'll wrap this up right now.
I have one last thing
we're
to
done?
say.
Okay, hold on. My problem with this whole situation is over the last 15 years, there's been a growing census of more and more kids, and I think it has to do with social media.
You think?
Feeling like they can make their own decisions, period.
That is a parent problem that I will sit there and say I agree with you on. You don't let a 3-year-old dictate their pronouns. They're 3.
Why do we need pronouns? Can't just be him and her and get it over with.
I will say this.
So they're the appropriate
Yeah, you have
pronouns.
zimzer, zippity doo dah, zippity
I've been a teacher for 10
shit.
years. I've been a teacher for 10 years. Most of the time, shut up. Enough. I've been
I
teaching.
respect your
I've been
teaching.
teaching for 10 years.
He's a sub.
No, I'm not.
Let him get it out.
There are
one end
certain students who, and I've teacher gossip between me and other teachers who have the,
Yeah.
You sit there and go, you think maybe that he's a little, maybe we don't know. It's not. We don't ask the kid. We don't talk to the kid about it. It's not our place. We had one student. I've known him when I met him when he was 8. He aged out of camp at age 12. So I knew him for 4 years. When he started camp at age 8, he wanted to wear a wig to school because he felt that he was a girl. Now, this student did not come from a. You're right.
No.
This little boy did not come from a house of you can be whatever you want to be. Don't worry about it. Dress the way you want to. Because he was from a Jewish conservative household.
He was gonna get beat.
But no, not beaten. But when he came to school, he asked us to wear the wig. And we made a compromise. We said, you're not going to wear a wig, but if you want to wear your shirt over your head and pretend it's long hair, you can. And that's what he did. Now, he did that for 2 summers.
Did he want to wear a wig because he thought he was a girl?
Yes.
He did.
He wanted to wear a wig because he felt like having long hair was female, and he thought he was female.
Did he come out and say he's a female?
He was 8 years old. No, he didn't say that. He said, I feel like a girl. I want to be a girl. So we said, okay, listen, you're not. You can't have long hair. We're not going to let you wear a wig. But if you want to wear your shirt over your head and pretend you have long hair because it's theater camp, you go right ahead.
That's good. That's good parenting.
Yeah,
that's what
it's theater camp.
That's what he did for
So
2
why
years.
didn't
2
somebody
years.
go to the parents about it?
He didn't want to because he was scared.
I'm sorry, he's scared. You know what? Most children are scared of their parents. And if you're scared of your parents, you respect your parents. Okay?
Not necessarily.
All right.
Not synonymous with
They're not synonymous.
You will-
But my
those-
point is,
those
No one
create
can
sneaky
hear you
kids.
talk.
We need to start.
my point is, 2 years went by.
Thank you.
Hey, 2 years went by.
I don't think she should be.
Identify as him for 5 minutes.
2 years. Stop.
That's
2 years went
so
by, and he
annoying.
stopped wearing the wig. And it was a common thing. Every year he showed up wearing the wig. Like, where'd the wig go? He's like, I don't feel that way anymore. And that's all he said, and we just left it at that.
Yes, now he
Right?
feels like
This
a
is-
lizard and he shoves a stick
No,
in
he
his
doesn't.
ass.
No, he doesn't. He's a performer. I'll give him that. He shantays across that stage better than most kids, but he's a performer. Then we have another student, current student. I had him.
Maybe we shouldn't be talking about current students and stuff like that. You know?
I had this student last year. I'm pretty sure I'll have this student again this year. This student, I can't tell. When I first met this
You
kid,
chew, your mic goes off.
when I first met this kid, I could not tell if they were a male or a female. They were very androgynous. Long hair, basic features. I mean, the kid doesn't wear makeup and shit, and dresses just like sweats and a t-shirt. And that's how they wanted it. And they said, like, I think they're from a family that's a little bit more, definitely more left than the other kid. This kid's got to be 11 or 12. And he goes, I prefer they. Call me they, them. That's what I prefer because I don't know what I'm going to grow up to be. Okay, I'll call you they, them. I'm not going to tell you the kid's name. Even the kid's name is androgynous. I can't tell whether he's a female, whether the kid's a male or a female. Point is, I don't give a fuck because I'm his teacher.
You just want to hold it.
I'm his teacher and I'm there to do my job. But if the kid comes into my class and goes, I want to be called this because it makes me feel safe, it makes me feel better, I have no problem giving him that respect. That's all. That's a simple thing.
How old is the kid?
I think they're got to be in like 11 or 12. I don't think they're 13 yet. And the kids go, this is how I feel. I don't know what I want to be someday. I don't know how I'm going to feel that. So for now, I'm just they. You got it. They, them.
And
done.
nobody's gone to the parents about this.
The parents know about this.
Well, if the parents know about it, I don't have a problem with it. Parents know. They're allowing their child to do that. That's what they want to do. That's fine. I have no problem with that.
And if the parents didn't know, I would still call the kid they, them, because it makes the kid feel accepted. And that's what they're missing at home. And that's what I wanted to get to at the last
You're
thing
not a
about this.
psychologist, Anthony.
No, I'm not a psychologist, but roughly half of transgender and non-binary young people found their school to be gender affirming. And those who did report into the Trevor thing, the Trevor survey, had lower rates of suicidal thoughts or attempts.
Okay.
Transgender and non-binary youth who reported that all the people they live with respect their pronouns, just that alone, have less suicidal thoughts and have attempted suicide less.
Oh, I'm going to sound so fucked up here, but I don't care.
Okay, so what about Ron
Basic
DeSantis?
respect.
Hold on. All I'm saying, listen. Respect does not happen naturally, okay?
They're a child, Joe.
I don't care.
That's your problem because you don't care because
my problem
they're
with the whole
children.
situation, okay? And
there's nothing
You
wrong.
can't bring up the argument that they're children when you allow them to do whatever they want.
They're not
to
doing
do.
everything they want to do. They say, "This is how I feel." Can you respect
no,
that?
hold on.
I respect that.
And
I'm not
as long as the parents know, I have no problem with
my
it.
whole thing is I'm tired of this whole. Well, listen. Respect is earned.
A child cannot earn respect. Parents should earn respect. A child's different. A child is a child. You're there to make sure the kid is safe. You're not there to respect the child like they owe you something like that. Like
You're there to teach and make sure the kid's safe. That's
and
it.
if the kid feels safe by being called a specific pronoun, why is it wrong to say that?
I'm trying to hit that raise the thing button, but there isn't any this week. But I got a question for you. You said before that the kid these children did something, or he felt like he had long hair and he was a girl.
Mm-hmm.
But then he came in later, a couple years later, or whatever,
Yes.
and he didn't feel that way.
Yes.
Now, take that into consideration in Florida, Montana, wherever the fuck you want to take it, where an 11-year-old decided that he's going to be a girl and he's adamant about it. He wants to start being gender transition. He wants to do all this stuff, and he goes through the genitalia mutilation drug that they got. I don't know the name of it, so I'm a little ignorant in that. But I know it's a chemical that they do to chemical castration. And it ruins him. And then, he wakes up 3 weeks later and he goes, "You know what? I was a mistake. I really didn't know."
Yeah, let's talk about the suicide rate in that community.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Okay, so
and that's where I'm saying that's where the line should be drawn.
So
I'm not going to sit there and tell you
what
that.
about the respect for the kid?
I'm not. Hold on. I'm answering that. There's no place where I'm sitting there going, let the kids do whatever the fuck they want. They want to cut their balls off at 4 years old. We need to respect that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when it comes to medical procedures, obviously you need the parents to be in on it.
Yeah, but they're trying not to do that. They're trying in most of these states.
And that's where I think my line is. If a kid is going to walk into a clinic and say at a certain age, "I want to transition from this to that," hold on a second. That's a life-altering decision that I don't think you at this age can make.
But that's what they're fighting for.
No, that's not what I'm fighting for.
Not you, them, the people that are trying to pass these laws about these kids. They want it. That's exactly what DeSantis is trying to prevent. To cut it off at the wrong choice of words. Okay. To stop it before it has a chance to root. That's all he's saying. Let these kids be kids. Let them. Look, they want to run around as Billy. Billy is now Bobette or whatever the fuck you call it, whatever. That's fine. Do whatever you want. All right, pretend. I know the left loves that word so much, but we're gonna pretend. We're
pretend where? Because they can't do it at home. They can't do it in school. And if a teacher decides to help them out acknowledge, then that could be complained about and they can lose their fucking job.
They're kids. They'll be creative. Were you creative as a child? You're still creative. You still make up fucking shit as you go
This
along.
motherfucker scared me when I was a child with 8 different personalities this motherfucker's had, all right?
So stop.
You remember that too, right? He had 8 different personalities. He would sit there going,
And he would lock you in his bedroom with
yeah.
8 personalities. Real scary.
Okay.
All right. What about Ron DeSantis?
Well, no, we're gonna take a short little break.
Please.
I know
he's the one who signed them into law.
Yeah,
he's the one who agreed with them. That's
and then it just trickled from there. We're gonna take a short little break, and then we're gonna come back and end this episode.
Okay.
Oh, really? Because we didn't even touch the illegal immigrant stuff. We didn't touch the
CRT
stuff.
It's part of the final part of this episode.
Oh, okay. So we still got.
We will
argument to
be
go?
yes, we'll be right back. Please do not go
I
anywhere.
know you don't want to stay here, but okay.
We'll be right back. Hey everybody, I'm JC3.
And I'm Mr. West.
And this episode is brought to you by Dubby. Made by professionals in the USA, Dubby was formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. Their formula contains vitamins, amino acids, including the patented Neurofactor. You know what Dubby doesn't give you?
What is that?
No calories, no sugars, no fillers, and no artificial flavors. When the raw ingredients
arrive to their FDA-registered and inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP guidelines. They undergo a quarantine while a small sample of each ingredient is taken to test for any impurities, while also being tested to ensure that the ingredients are actually what they are supposed to be and have the proper dosage.
And once the ingredients pass all the tests, then they're cleared to get mixed into the formula. So head on over to w.gg and use our offer code IsThisRealPC for 10% off your first order. That's DUBBY.GG and use the code IsThisRealPC for 10% off. They have great flavors such as Galaxy Grenade, Dub Sludge, Passion Joy Tea, Monkey Madness, and Dragonade. My personal favorites.
Dragonade's right here. I got Dragonade right here. Delicious.
Drink Dubby
and be better.
These products are not intended to diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you liked this video today, please click the like and subscribe button and make sure to hit the notification icon to keep up with all our videos.
Who wants better sex? And who wants better sex starting now? The best way to get started is go to adamandeve.com.
Adam and Eve is offering 50% off just any item.
But that's not all. When you select your one item, you will also get 3 bonus items. That includes a gift for him, a special gift for her, and a gift you'll both like.
Plus 6 free movies for your viewing pleasure and free shipping.
There is discreet shipping as your privacy is priority. Plus 100% free shipping on your entire order.
Doesn't matter how much you spend or what you buy, it will all be packaged and sent discreetly for free.
Don't wait. Better sex is just one click away.
That's 50% off one item, 3 free gifts, 6 free movies, and free shipping.
Bring more pleasure and satisfaction to your bedroom.
Just go to adamandeve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy or anything you desire.
Just enter code QUESTION at checkout.
That's question, QUESTION at adamandeve.com.
This exclusive offer is specific to this podcast only. So be sure at checkout you punch in the code QUESTION. That is QUESTION at checkout and get your 50% off one item, 10 free gifts, and free shipping. Remember, use code QUESTION. Also remember to listen to Is This Real every Sunday at 8 o'clock with new episodes starting July 16th. Remember, everybody, question everything and put that question at the end of your checkout.
adamandeve.com.
And welcome back. Sorry for that long little segment there. We do have one more little issue to get through, but Pope Tony is going to talk about our sponsor right now. Pope Tony, please.
BetterHelp.com. When you go to BetterHelp.com/questions, sign up with that link. You're going to receive, you're going to get some money back on your first session with BetterHelp.com. And what is BetterHelp.com? It is a professional service that hooks you up with a therapist or a counselor that you need. So some people might have marriage issues. Some people might have work issues. Some people have intimacy issues. Some people have the fear of success. Whatever your issue is, BetterHelp.com will work with you to hook you up with a therapist or a counselor that is right for you. And when you use our offer site, BetterHelp.com/question, you're going to save a little money on your first session. So go do that. BetterHelp is for everybody because I think everybody benefits when they have an opportunity to talk in a safe space.
That's including you, Florida. So now we get back into this right now. So we have let's see, we talked about the Don't Say Gay bill. Mm-hmm. We talked about Ron DeSantis and Ron DeSanctimonious, as Trump likes to call him.
Ron DeSanctimonious.
All right, so let's get into his laws about the illegals.
Senate Bill 1718 signed into law July 1st, 2023.
All right, okay, calm down, put the dick away.
What's the? Please let us know what the bill is.
Yeah, let us know what the bill is.
A comprehensive effort to restrict the ability of undocumented individuals to live and work in Florida. SB 1718 affects those who came here legally but overstayed their visa or student visa, overstays from Europe or Canada, and those who are here legally but are not authorized to work. Now, what that means is an inspected unauthorized alien means a lawfully admitted person a lawfully admitted asylum seeker who has not yet received his or her EAD
You know what that
or
means?
work authorization.
If E.T. lands in Florida, they're sending his ass back home.
What are these
That
people
movie
doing?
would
It's like real aliens.
That movie would not sit there, and it would not have worked in Florida.
So, but I was like, what is someone who is legally here but unauthorized to work? Well, this is who it is. They are an inspected, unauthorized alien, means a lawfully admitted asylum seeker who has not received the EAD or work authorization. This is one of those cases where someone is legally here in the United States but is unauthorized to work. It affects people in the middle of a valid immigration application who have been waiting for over a year for their work authorization when they should have received it within 90 days of applying, according to the state government. Work authorization allows applicants to get a driver's license and work legally while they are waiting for their green card. The process of this is an asylum applicants at the border, asylum seekers apply at the border. After a successful interview, they are given a time to report to ICE. Then they must fill out the I-589 application of asylum. After their 589 has been pending for 150 days, they can apply for an employment authorization document, EAD. However, that takes over a year in most cases to get. So someone who is here legally or recognized that they're here legally, but they can't work, this bill affects them as well. That was the confusing part for me when I was reading into this.
Well, they're also doing it from Canada too, right?
Overstays from Europe or Canada, so somebody who's here on vacation but gets stuck here, or somebody who was visiting someone, or I came from Canada to take care of a relative who's on hospice and now they haven't died within 6 months, and I'm the only caretaker, but the visa's up. Like, what do you do in that situation? You send the person back home, they're taking care of a loved one, but they're not a citizen of the United States. So it affects.
Well, don't you know when your visa's coming up anyway?
You do. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, you have other circumstances that would require you to stay in the States longer than your visa says.
Well, I know that. Wouldn't you sit there and
it also affects.
A regular person would sit there and just re-up their visa, wouldn't they?
It's hard to re-up the visa when you have government institutions that take long to do that. You also have students who are here from across, the world who are studying, and their visa goes up, but my finals are next month. I'm a student here. You can't kick me out of school now when I have I got to finish the year out. Well, your visa's up, so get the fuck out. You're not allowed to be here. This bill affects those people as well.
Does it affect the people who are in the process of re-upping their visa? Like, if
yes,
their visa is if they have proof that they are waiting for the government.
Yes, it affects them as well.
I don't know.
It does affect them as well. As of,
is there anything that has happened that says it does affect them? Like, has there been a case that has happened under this?
Well, I know there was a student who got, her parents were illegal immigrants. They had to move out of state. She had to stay because she was in school and she couldn't leave. So families have been separated. I read about that the other day.
That's not what I was talking about.
No, I understand, but you're asking, so I'm giving you.
I'm talking about the specific case of people who have reapplied for visas or anything like that.
You would have to look into that, but I'm saying to you, according to this bill, they're affected as well.
Because to me, I don't
here's
know.
how it affects illegal immigrants when it comes to working. All employees. This is not about. This affects employees. They have to go through what's called E-Verify. 27 U.S. states mandate the use of E-Verify by some or all employers. It's mandatory in Florida for companies who have 25 or more employees to use the federal E-Verify process. Companies will be able to register their business through the portal. From there, they can input their employees' information with the system and run a background check to make sure they're eligible to work in the United States. Employers will need to make sure that they have required documents available at the time of enrolling to verify the employee's eligibility for employment. Now, there are penalties if you don't use it. It's $1,000 per day. After consecutive information that someone's illegal who works for your company, it's unlawful to knowingly hire them, recruit them, or refer to them at all. And there's penalties imposed if you do that, if you hire illegal immigrants in Florida. So, but it's also like the E-Verify is used in 26 other states as well. Driver's licenses or IDs issued to non-citizens in other states are no longer valid in Florida. So again, if somebody from New Jersey goes to Florida to visit a relative, they're working on their becoming a United States citizen. That license that they got in New Jersey to drive a car is no longer legal in Florida, which to me doesn't make sense. I think for something like licenses that are government issued, that should apply across the board.
Well,
regardless of states.
From what I'm reading right now, this is from the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, both of them. They're doing automatic.
A New Jersey license is different from a federal government license.
No, I understand that. But I'm like, if it's required to drive a vehicle, it's not like
they're automatically.
I mean, you could drive
extending.
A car. You could drive a car at 15
visas.
in Florida, so
automatically extending visas.
Automatically extending.
So that's going to curtail that problem then.
They are automatic. As of May 3rd, 2022. Well, this was August 27th, 2023. Will be granted automatic extensions up to 540 days if their EAD expires before the renewal application is processed.
Okay, well, that's good. Penalties for the driver's license thing. Specifically, they'll be charged with committing a third-degree felony, which carries a maximum of 5 years in prison. Florida State Senate Bill 1718 outlines that anyone transporting an illegal person into the state will be held accountable for human smuggling, illegal transportation of a non-documented person, and a felony that can land someone in prison up to 15 years. The law also strengthens organized smuggling. The law also strengthens organized smuggling under the state's RICO statute, which can lead up to 30 years in prison. The SB 1718 does not carve out exceptions for persons or entities doing the transporting, including people transporting family members, transportation by emergency service providers, faith-based service providers, and providers of transportation for schools and extracurricular activities. So if you're a bus driver and someone on that bus is an illegal alien, you could be breaking the law and you can go to jail for it. If you're an ambulance driver and you pick up somebody who I would think, regardless of their citizenship, isn't the whole thing with the healthcare system to help people if they're in pain? So say someone driving a car does get into an accident or is hit by a car. They're an illegal alien. An ambulance can't pick them up and take them to a hospital because you're transporting an illegal alien at that point.
See, the problem
doesn't carve it out for that.
The reason why they're doing that is very simple because, you're right. You should think that an ambulance driver, and I don't think that's even remotely the case, but you would think that an ambulance driver would be immune from stuff like that or whatever, and I'll be far pressed to find a situation where that actually happened. But if somebody's here illegally and they get in an auto accident or they get hurt, and they're already breaking the law, and they get into things, and then they have to pull resources to help them from doing what they're doing. But then what happens when somebody who's here legally, born here, gets hurt? You're straining the system. It's got to be blanket coverage, or you know what?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Laws.
You just said it would be hard pressed to find the situation with the ambulance.
Yeah.
I think it will also be hard pressed to find somebody on the opposite end where it's like the illegal immigrant got care before I did, and I'm a citizen. That's not right. I think it's more blanket than it is the other way around.
It's blanket because there's no other way to cover it.
As far as healthcare is concerned, this is part of the bill. Healthcare providers who take Medicare must collect data on the patient's citizen status. They will now be required to keep track of the money used to treat illegal immigrants in their emergency departments. A hospital must report this information to the state and the Agency for Healthcare Administration. The legislation will additionally require each hospital that accepts Medicaid to include a question on the admission or registration forms whether the patient is a U.S. citizen or lawfully present in the United States or isn't.
Just like every other country.
And if not, then they have to do a quarterly report to the Agency for Healthcare Administration detailing the number of patients who visited the ER or were admitted to the hospital in each category of the forms. And then lastly, Bill 1718 provides $12 million to the Unauthorized Alien Transportation Program part of a division of emergency management, which means that, again, like I said, a bus driver with an illegal immigrant faces RICO charges because you're carrying illegal immigrant. But we're going to set up this program where we're $12 million going to go to make sure we put illegal immigrants on a bus and send them out of state.
Okay. When you make laws, there are certain exceptions to the laws, and you write that in to protect the people of Florida, to protect the resources that they have. Okay, there's nothing wrong with if they got to ship them out of there.
I honestly don't think they're gonna sit there and check every fucking bus and the bus driver. Did you know he was illegal?
Bus driver, that's not
doing his fucking job.
It's not gonna happen unless he's running a camp where he's bringing illegals from whatever country into the country, and he knowingly does it.
As of Florida 2022, there was 775,000 illegals, which is roughly 4% of the state, which is made up of 22 million. 626,000 of them were of working ages between 16 and 54. Of that, 400,000 were employed, 25,000 were unemployed, and 200,000 were unable to be employed. People waiting for EADs, people in jail, elderly, the sick, the handicapped, whatever. And they comprised 96,000 were in construction, 68,000 were janitors, laborers, landscapers, clerks, security guards. 60,000 were in food services or entertainment services, 36,000 in retail, and 32,000 non-administrative, which means religious leaders, truck drivers, self-employed.
So again, I ask you this: why should they be allowed to come into the country? And that word you used at the beginning was illegally. Okay, and just get a job or get a license or do whatever, when people that are born and raised in Florida might have difficulty getting the same job. Shouldn't they get the job first?
Well, I would have to look into this, but I don't see many people clamoring for that janitor job.
It doesn't matter. If that job was open and they had nowhere else to go, they would get it, but they don't have an option. The option.
Why not? McDonald's is always hiring. Isn't that what I'm told?
You know what? That's a fucking stupid statement.
That's what I've been told my whole life. You gotta pay. You took a student loan now. You gotta pay rebuild. Well, I'm not getting a job. Well, McDonald's is always hiring. Go flip burgers.
You're a legal citizen.
I applied to McDonald's. Them motherfuckers denied me. All right, fuck you.
That's because they thought you were the Grimace,
and you just had a birthday. Okay, you can't.
And I'm not here. I'm not
the option away from an American citizen.
And I'm not disagreeing.
Because of a criminal.
I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is why this is so controversial is that because this isn't just targeting people who are here illegally. It's targeting people who are here legally, recognized by the United States, but circumstances dictate that something happened. I'm happy that you told me the green cards are the visas are automatically renewing.
Because they started the process of renewal. Because there's a lot of illegals who don't start the process of renewal, and they're like, my green card's up or whatever, or my visa's up. Darn.
So wait a second, so they just automatically did it?
Yeah. When the people who started the process of renewal.
Hold on, that makes no sense to me. They're illegal citizens.
They're not illegal citizens.
No, they are still legal citizens. They're working towards their green card. They're not citizens yet. They have a green card.
Right.
They have a visa to be here, though. That's legal.
I understand that. My point is, though, they're not citizens.
But there's a difference between saying, well, they're illegals. When you talk...
Let's just say citizen in training.
Whatever.
Yeah. Okay, these are people who have their visas and they know that their visa is going up, and they did it in the proper time where they have to sit there and go, okay, I know my visa's up in 6 months. Let me start the process of renewal.
Thank you.
So they decided to sit there and start it now. This goes into the problem of people sitting there, and they're like, "Oh, my visa's up in a week."
But why make this? Why, if you're going to do that, then why pass any of these laws in the first place? If you're just going to sit there and automatically renew them,
this was not from Florida itself. This was from above Florida.
So that's what I need to know. Is it count to Florida or somewhere else? Because most of the things in 1718 apply to people across the board. You're not a citizen. They don't give a fuck about all the extenuating circumstances. They don't care that you're waiting on your EAD. They don't care that you're here because of a family member. They don't give a fuck. You're not supposed to be here. This law applies to you.
Is that the official bill? Do you have the official bill in your hand?
No, not this is what I read.
This is the summary, right? There's a difference between that, and that's why I'm saying you have to read the entire bill.
I read the fuck. It's right here.
I don't want to sit there and have people sitting there reading summaries of bill, because there might be fucking different little things added to the bill that were like, well, if you're extending your visa, blah 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 blah.
And also, the you're trying to make the argument that if somebody's here and they're on a visa for 6 months and they're caring for an elderly or a sick person, in 6 months that visa is going to be up. So at the second month,
why make it automatic? If you're here to target, if you're going to pass a law targeting illegal aliens in this country, in your state rather, then make sure that they're accountable. That when your visa's up, you knew it was coming up, you did not renew it. Too fucking bad. Grandma dies, she gets to stay. You go back to your country.
That's what they're doing.
That's what they did.
No,
I said they did it for the people who are in the process of renewing their visa. If you said
they renewed it automatically.
They renewed it automatically when you have already started the process of the paperwork.
You don't just renew automatically. That's not going to happen.
That's exactly what Joey's saying. It renews automatically.
If they're doing the paperwork, they got it. You look. First of all, here's the deal that I have a problem with.
Jesus fucking
If you are illegal, your responsibility. There's that word again. Your responsibility is to make sure that you take care of whatever business you need to take care of to stay, to help grandma, grandpa, the parakeet, whatever. Okay, that's what your responsibility is. You are a guest in this country. Okay, be thankful that somebody let you in with a visa, because they could have denied you. All right, be thankful. We have laws in this country. We should have laws that are immigration.
Hold on. Ready? U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services announced a temporary final rule that increases the automatic extension period for employment authorization and employment authorization documents available to certain EAD renewal applicants up to 540 days.
Because somebody explain to me what EAD what?
EAD?
EAD.
EAD is
employment authorization document,
which means that you're allowed to work in the United States despite not being a citizen.
Up to 540 days. The increase, which will be effective immediately on May 4th, this is 2022, will help avoid gaps in employment for non-citizens with pending EAD renewal applications and stabilize the continuity of operations for the United States. Meaning the pending thing, they're pending, they've put in the process, the paperwork to sit there up to 540 days.
Now, these are people that are going to be citizens someday. They're working towards a citizenship, or they're just here.
What if they don't want to be a citizen? What if they're just here to make money? You have that factor too.
Well, you know what? Yeah, everybody should have the right to make money, but again, if you're illegal, there should be laws that you have to pass to stay here to do it.
Yeah,
you're
called a U.S. national at that point. If you have the right to live here, but you're not a green card holder, you're just a national at that point.
We need laws, and sometimes laws are not fair. I mean, but again, it is your responsibility as a guest of this country to follow our laws and make sure you get everything done that you need to get done.
Non-citizens with a pending EAD renewal application whose 180-day automatic extension has lapsed and whose EAD has expired will be granted an additional period of employment authorization validity beginning on May 4th and lasting up to 504 days from the expiration date of their EAD. Such that may resume employment if they are still within the 504-day automatic extension period and otherwise eligible. Non-citizens with a pending renewal application still covered in the 180-day automatic extension will be granted an additional 360-day extension for up to 540 days. But again, the final decision on the new application at the end of the 540 days, meaning up to the 540 days after the expiration date of the applicant's facility expired EAD, whichever comes earlier. Certain non-citizens who are in the United States may file a Form I-765 application to request employment authorization on an EAD. So, yes, this is for people who have filed all this stuff already and intend to extend their stay. It's not for the people who, mine comes up next week. Oh, darn, I'm not going to do it. That's what this bill is for.
Let me ask a question. Maybe somebody here know actors in Hollywood, they come like say, I'm just going to pick a name out of a hat, Roger Moore. Now I know Roger Moore was he had dual citizenship between the United States and England. Say you had an actor that was English, and he didn't have it, but they had to be here for, I don't know, they wanted to live in Los Angeles. Graham, what's not an actor, but the cook.
You're talking about Gordon Ramsay?
Gordon Ramsay. He has homes in California, and he also has homes in London. I don't think he's got dual citizenship. Now, if he only had citizenship of England or London, UK, he's going to have to go back at a certain time. Because he's not here, he's making money here. But what if he, I know he owns restaurants here, wherever. Does that count as far as,
it applies.
Is he doing it legally or is?
Yeah, because he'll be here as an investor into America. So they'll give you certain countries will give you citizenships because you are investing in their country and you're staying there.
All right, well that answers that question because
you do have some. You do have some. Like there was Michael J. Fox, and he's from Canada. No, I'm sorry, that's the wrong guy I'm reading here. It's jumbled up. Susan Milan, the dog trainer, the dog whisperer, became a U.S. citizen in 2009. Before that, Milan crossed the border without authorization at the age of 21. I came to the United States illegally, he wrote in his autobiography. For the poor, the working class of Mexico, there is no other way to come to America except illegally. It's impossible. That's what he said in his autobiography.
That's an excuse. Sorry.
The Nixon administration issued a deportation order to John Lennon and Yoko Ono, alleging the couple had been admitted to the country improperly.
Yep.
He had pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor charge of cannabis in London in 1968, and the immigration law at that time banned the administration of anyone convicted of any drug use. But unlike most migrants who have problems with their legal status, Lemon and Ono had powerful friends who petitioned the Immigration Naturalization Service on their behalf. Selma Hayek admitted to her struggle for legal status in an interview with a Spanish magazine. According to Fox News Latino, I was an illegal immigrant in the United States. It was for a small period of time, but I did it. There's a Grammy winning musician, Luis Enrique, said he came to the United States from Nicaragua without documents as a young boy. I didn't speak English. I did the best I could. I finished high school, but I couldn't go to college because I was illegal. Here you go. Michael J. Fox, according to Fox News Latino, I don't know why they're reporting on him. He's Canadian. But he said that he entered the United States with a visa early in his career. He suffered some nervousness at the border because, as he wrote in his 2010 autobiography, that the actual visa had not come through yet. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, the ex-bodybuilder governor, reportedly violated the terms of his visa in the mid-'70s by working as a bricklayer while on a visa to be a bodybuilder in the United States. His violation of the visa would have been enough to get him deported.
Hold on a second. Gordon Ramsay is not an American citizen. He's just British only. So he's got to be working under when he does come here. I would guarantee, he's got to have some kind of. But again, these guys got people that work for them. They'll know.
Yeah, they have people already putting that shit through, and so celebrities, especially people making money, they have lawyers sitting there working on that shit for them.
Yes,
constantly.
And you do need a work visa in order to be to be an actor and make that your living in the United States. If you don't have a green card, you need a work visa specifically for the field you want to work in.
Well,
it's hard to get one for a film or a theater company because it's hard for them to sponsor you. So if you don't have it, don't audition.
Well, I think that's gonna take to the end.
I think so. This has been a long episode, and we didn't even touch House Bill 7, 2022, which is the individual freedom, or the woke bill, which is all about critical race theory.
Yeah, we'll handle that for a different time. Because we got Wes falling asleep over here. Like
it's not falling asleep.
Prohibits school districts, colleges, and universities from hiring woke CRT consultants. Protects employees against hostile work environment due to CRT.
Time, and he continues.
I'm just reading his Stop Woke Act pamphlet that he put out on his website.
Anywho, all right. So this is the end of the season, gentlemen. We are at the end of the season, at the end of season 10. Our United States, our first debate season. How did we feel about this? How did we feel about this season?
Well, I feel better if you go around the room now and ask what we feel about Ron DeSantis, or how do we?
Okay.
I think that should be what we should do before we do that.
How do you feel about Ron DeSantis?
What are you asking me?
How do you feel about? Literally just asked you.
No. My question to you is: wouldn't you ask somebody? Do Do you agree? Do you disagree? He's a good governor, bad governor?
Oh, how do you feel about Ron DeSantis? Like,
I think he's a very good governor. I think he knows what he's doing. I think he gets. Am I pissing you off? Because I'm really trying. I'm trying my best.
It's not pissing me off. It's just like, well, maybe you should go around asking people how they feel about Ron DeSantis. Okay, Dad, how do you feel about Ron DeSantis?
So I'm pissing you off.
Oh, maybe you should ask a different question than that.
So I'm pissing you off.
Hey, you know what? Can you please, for the love of God, just... how do you feel about Ron DeSantis?
I think Ron DeSantis is a very good governor.
All right, Wes, how do you feel about Ron DeSantis?
He's okay, I guess.
You just learned about him tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's... on paper, he don't sound all that bad. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't know all of his bills and shit.
You know, it's just like it's like a football team. It's like on paper they should be the best football team.
But then, you know.
But then they're 0-11. You know, like
don't say shit like that, please. 4 days away from opening day, please.
Anthony, do I even need to ask you how you feel about Ron DeSantis?
Okay, on a personal level, if you watch him in interviews, if you watch him in the media, in the bites, he has the same behavior of Mr. Conehead minus the Conehead. Like, he's awkward. Like someone made him laugh and he went, ha ha ha, and then went right back to being serious. He grinds his teeth all the time. The last thing he said during the debate the other night was like, he's like, and I'll be your president. And he like did this little like half weird smile. I'm like, personally, this guy's weird.
I've never
He has
seen.
strange behavior. But that's just personality cult stuff. That I can, if someone's a weird person, but I agree with their politics, I'm gonna go with their politics. I'm still gonna vote for him.
Oh, go ahead, please. This is the same fucking nitwit that voted Trump out because they didn't like the way he talked. All right, his policies were fucking run the country like a top, but he didn't like the way he talked. He talked stupid. He made fun of the crippled people.
It's not about.
Enough.
Not about Trump.
Oh, the fucking
for the
left
love
kid
of
just
God.
take a fucking thing and get over with. Wow.
I would not vote for Ron DeSantis.
Son, yo,
But no,
some weed or something.
But no,
bro.
I don't agree with Ron
You
DeSantis.
need to relax.
I don't agree with some of the policies that he's passed in Florida, so no, I would not
Hypocrisy of the
vote for him.
I wouldn't vote for Ron DeSantis either because he just looks weird to me.
He looks like the fucking Conehead, but just no cone.
Dude, I don't fucking remember the movie Conehead. All right, you're dating yourself.
It's
here.
Dan Aykroyd's a classic.
Do you guys vote because you want him to run the country right and change the policies, or would you rather have Ron DeSantis running New Jersey or Fire Marshal Bill? Okay, all right.
Well, I would have Ron DeSantis running New Jersey, but not the country.
Why? He's going to do something different with the country that he did with Florida?
For me, if I
he's not going to stand up to the
We're not going to talk about gays at all. Meanwhile, we have a very real living gay population. We're going to ignore them. They don't exist.
Okay.
Oh, cut it the fuck out.
That's what he's doing in schools in Florida. That's what he would do as president of the United States.
Hey, okay.
Sponsored by
Jesus fucking Christ.
Go ahead. Come on. Let's get this out because him and I didn't really go tonight, so maybe we should go in the closing.
No, we went.
Listen.
Fucking dickhead, I swear to God.
We fucking went there.
I wouldn't vote for Ron DeSantis. I'm not saying that he's doing coke. I don't know any of that. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, he grinds his teeth. I grind my teeth. I don't do coke. Okay.
You drink it.
No, I don't.
Ron
drink coke.
DeSantis, Joe Biden. Who are you voting for?
And humanity.
Giant asteroid.
Giant asteroid 2024. Okay. Vote for it.
All right.
That's a new T-shirt.
That's an old T-shirt.
And it's the same guy who's not going to vote for Trump again because he doesn't like the way he
I would
talks.
vote for Trump. I would also vote for Vivek. I would.
I'd vote for Vivek in a heartbeat.
To be honest, if I'm sitting here, if I have to vote for anything, I said it all. I fucking RFK Jr.
The three that I could live with would be Trump, Vivek, or
RFK.
RFK. I would even throw if DeSantis got in, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I really wouldn't.
DeSantis scares me.
I don't know why he scares you. He just scared people in Florida when he won this huge election.
Oh, I understand that. But still. Okay, so
who lives there? Go ahead.
So the ending of season 10, ladies and gentlemen. This is the end of season 10. This is the end of our first debate season. I don't know if we're gonna have another one.
This was fun.
I think it was.
Well, we
I
can't.
think,
The next season, I don't know what we're going to debate on.
I
not
know what
really
we're doing.
debating.
We're not.
It's more of just general education and
We're getting
creepy
back
shit.
to our roots.
Yeah, creepy shit. And the next season, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about aliens. We're talking about ghosts. We're talking about all of it. Like
That's right.
really am excited for this next season, and it is. I've started this today. I put day 1. It is a tweet that went out today.
You're tweeting now?
I tweeted. Well, I exercised.
Yeah.
Right.
I exercised today.
No, you didn't.
Day 1 of trying to get at Aaron Rodgers on our podcast to talk about UFOs.
Yes, that's right.
Hashtag Blue Horizon, hashtag aliens, hashtag UFOs, hashtag Hard Knocks at the New York Jets. That is day 1. I'm going to continue this until this motherfucker either replies or tells me, dude, stop. That is going to be happening. So Aaron Rodgers, if you see this, come on our podcast.
Aaron, we're the same state. You live in Jersey now, asshole.
Like literally, if Morristown, I think your house is in. It's like an hour away.
Not even.
You know, so
40 minutes.
that is a new thing.
Yeah,
Come
he's
on
going
to
to-
season 11.
He's going to pass.
Come on to season 11. Even if you have to video chat. Look, you did it with Pat McAfee today. Video chat us. We'll put it up. So Aaron Rodgers, come talk to us about UFOs and
I'll do your HVAC.
your UFO experience. Hey, look, he'll do the New York Jets sign. Right? Trying to get you business.
That's right.
All right. So what do we, did Anthony tell us everybody about our social medias?
Head on over to tiktok.com/isthisrealpc. You'll see a whole bunch of videos with my face, with Joey's face, talking about all these things. You'll see podcast
When we're
clips.
not shadow banned.
Yeah, you'll see clips from the show. You'll see our own 2 cents worth of videos. You'll see me screaming about outer space. Head on over to X. All of our social media links are on our website.
That shit's still Twitter.
Yeah, I know, right? All of our social media links is on our website, greenarrowmedia.org, which is going to be updated in the coming days. And it's going to have all these new pictures of all the topics that we're going to talk about in season 11, which I'm super excited for. So go check us out on greenarrowmedia.org, where you can also watch the show on YouTube. Definitely please subscribe to our YouTube. We're trying to build that up right now.
Yes. Joshua, what do you feel about this season? I don't want to do this podcast anymore. All right. So
Thank you, Block.
Yeah, thank you, Block. Thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for season 11. We'll see you
Season 10.
Yes, thank you for joining us for season 10. We'll see you in season 11. And
dropping Sunday, October 1st.
Yep, the first of the month. Booyah. We'll see you guys. Everybody say goodnight.
Adios, motherfuckers.
Oyatsumi.
We'll catch you next season. Remember, everybody, question everything. Good night.
Konnichiwa, bitches. It's Ryu West speaking. If you want to find out more about the Is This Real podcast, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/isthisrealpc, or on Twitter at isthisrealpc, or on Instagram at isthisrealpodcast, all one word.